Peter Wright, two-time world champion. How does that feel?
Obviously amazing, and obviously just like looking at these pictures in the paper of me holding sit-up, you know, to get it back, you know. Deep down, do you think you're going to win it again? And yeah, I did. Strange feeling.
Well, what was the moment that you started to believe that you were going to become world champion? You said back before the World Match Play that you were going to win both that and the World Championship this year, and you've delivered on that promise.
Yeah, well, hopefully people put the double on. But it was just to make myself focus on particular stuff and to make me concentrate and make me practice hard, you know, to back up what I said, you know, so, and I did.
Let's talk about last night's final. I mean, the whole tournament has gone down as a real classic, this World Championship. Seen some amazing games, and that final last night was no different. Just tell us about your emotions through it and the way it went back and forth.
Well, the whole tournament itself was great, I think, and it was great to have the fans back as well, and obviously Willie Borland's 9-darter in sudden death, crazy darts, you know, and obviously 𝗁𝗍𝗵𝗵 hit a 9-darter, Darius went with a 9-darter, so, you know, that makes the tournament fantastic as well, and just obviously playing Gary Anderson, a legend in darts, and just be able to get over the line, playing him, winning against him, and then getting to the final, playing Michael Smith. It wasn't a great final from my point of view. I feel like I could have played a lot better, but it just didn't happen. Maybe it was nerves, I don't know. But it was just maybe down to not keeping my body still and keeping my head still with the release and everything on my darts, and that's why it weren't quite on.
You say that though, it still seemed an amazing game, and at the end of the match we saw almost a sense of relief from you more than celebration. Last time, you know, we saw the tears and the real emotion of the first title, but this time it sort of seemed more of a relief that you've backed up on your promise. Just tell me your thoughts on that as that winning dart went in.
Well, it was a relief, but and you know, I knew deep down I could win this if I played well against Michael, kept him under pressure and stuff like that. But that wasn't happening until the last 3 sets. Obviously, that's when I started playing proper darts, and then it became real when I hit the double 16. You know, I was confident I weren't going to miss it, and so it's just obviously it's not lots of emotion because I didn't have all my family there and all the kids to look around. Last time everyone was in tears, and I had all my friends there from, you know, darts in the past and stuff like that, and neighbours and that. But we didn't want to invite them up because of, you know, the COVID situation, and it was best just for everyone to stay, you know, where they are, watch it on telly, and listen to the commentators and enjoy it that way. So yeah, but I only started crying a little bit because I see Michael Smith in tears. And you know, I felt sorry for him, and that was the only reason I started crying.
A word on Michael then. I mean, he put in an amazing performance this tournament, beat 𝗁𝗍𝗵𝗵, Johnny Clayton, you know, the form man this year. A lot of people thought the title was going his way, but you were the one to stop him. But a word on his performance in this tournament.
Obviously, Michael Smith, we know how good he is, and the way he performed in the tournament, you know, it was great, as you say, beating Johnny Clayton, one of the guys who's dominated darts this year, to be honest, me and him, and then obviously beating the world champion as in 𝗁𝗍𝗵𝗵 and the world #1 as well. He had to play some fantastic darts there, and he just, you know, he was very confident, and but I don't know what happened to Michael in the final. You know, look at the stats, the game looks pretty good, as I said, but he probably thought he didn't play well either. He probably thought he could play a lot better, and but you know, when he went 5-4 up, I thought he was going to run away with it, but you know, I dug deep and got over the line.
Well, you mentioned 𝗁𝗍𝗵𝗵 in the world #1 spot there. You're now within £15,000
Wow,
of the Welshman. So is that the goal for 2022, to overtake 𝗁𝗍𝗄 and become world #1 and world champion?
Yeah, seeing I'm that close to being #1, obviously I'll be focusing on winning as many tournaments I can. Just try and get more than him. Obviously, I think most of the players this year are not defending a lot that much because of COVID. You know, when it first came out, I think I'm just obviously defending the Europeans later on in the year. Apart from that, you know, and next year in the Worlds, I think I went out first, second round, something like that. So I'm not defending that. He's defending, obviously, the final. So I've got a chance to get to #1 in the world, and I'll be pushing hard. Yeah.
So how does 2021, 2022 rank as a career? A year in your career. I mean, you've won 4 titles this year, the World Cup alongside John Henderson, and 3 individual titles. It must be a real special year for you.
Yeah, and I think I won about 4 or 5 or something floor tournaments or something like that, as well as, which is very difficult to do. Obviously, it's great to have obviously the match play with the Worlds and the Players' Championships, and obviously the World Cup. That's great. But then I had some really terrible tournaments where, you know, some averages were just like ridiculous, just 80 averages, and some less than that, and it's like, couldn't explain why. It was just horrible, but I managed to dig myself out of that and do the right things at the right time.
You've become a multiple major winner these days. You've joined a list of exclusive list of 2-time PDC World Champions. But what's next for Peter Wright? What are you looking at next? Is the Premier League the one that you really want?
Yeah, I think I'm going to really focus for the Premier League. I've never done well in that, apart from obviously the first final I got to. Had 6 darts, 7 darts or whatever to win that. But I'm a different player from then, and hopefully I can focus on that. And then obviously I'd like to win the Grand Slam instead of being runner-up in it a couple of times, and obviously try and do well in the Grand Prix. I should do well in the Grand Prix, but I never do. I've made to the final once, but you know, if I can focus on them tournaments, that'd be nice.
How special is it going to be to hear your name announced once again as the reigning champion of the world? Yeah,
that's going to be the main thing. I'm happy with. The thing is getting Sky Sports back up there, and
is that the badge of honour?
Yeah, that's, you know, you've earned that. Then it's just like I said to Joe, and I think I want that Sky Sports badge back on. You know, knowing you're world champion again, and obviously to hear John McDonnell announcing me in all the venues that we're going to throughout this year, and hopefully, you know, New York. That'd be just absolutely amazing to hear that over there.
Because you've got a few weeks now to celebrate your world title. What's the plans? How are you going to celebrate?
Obviously, I've got a wedding to deal with my daughter on the 14th. So I'm looking forward to that. Might have a couple of celebration drinks there, and then it's mainly just get back on the practice board, get ready for the rest of the year.